Hello, children. Today we are going to learn the lesson Feathered Friend. This is a fictional story revolving around a spacecraft, a small bird, and astronauts and scientists. Right? So there are few trigger questions which we have to answer before we enter into the lesson and learn in detail. Okay, so by the very title, Feathered Friend, you would have got to know what our lesson is all about, isn't it? So, feathered friends, who is having a feather? Birds. So, the birds have come as a friend for a group of astronauts. So, our story is happening in the space. I told you that this is a fictional story. What do you mean by a fictional story? It's an imagination, a story written in imagination of a particular topic or a theme. So here in the space station, a group of astronauts are exploring or doing some research in the laboratory, and they have dealt with a particular problem. We will learn in detail about it. So what do you mean by a space station? So you know that many countries have put together a space station in order to carry out the research work which is not possible on Earth. So most of the countries have contributed. So that is where the astronauts go and stay for many months to carry out the research work. Now there is a speciality when you are in space. Of course, right? What is it? The weightlessness. How do you feel, or why do you feel that weightlessness? Because of the absence of gravitational pull of the earth. Have you ever dreamt that what would it be like flying in the air just like a bird? That's exactly what you can feel when you are in space. The difference being, as a bird, you may have a direction or you know where you are heading to because you can control by your wings, but in space station, you are literally floating. You cannot say what is up or what is the bottom side. It all depends on where your feet are. That is where the bottom side is, right? So you are floating. Probably when you imagine, have you ever gone on a roller coaster? So when it immediately comes down, there is something which we feel, that emptiness or the vacuum. That is what exactly you are feeling in the space station as well. So you are floating. So you are most of the time fastened with straps and something like that whenever you sleep or whenever you have to drink something or eat something or sit something and do work. That is what they have to do as astronauts. So weightlessness because of the zero gravity of the space. Now, do you think we can rely on the machines completely or 100%? Machines are also bound to go through a lot of fault or malfunctions, right? We cannot completely rely on machines. But when you take up a space travel, you will have plan A and other supporting plans as well, right? Backup plans as well, plan B, plan C, right? So you will have many plans to back up if plan A goes off or fail. So I'm giving you these tips because all these questions are related with our lesson. So we cannot completely rely on a machine. Sometimes the machines, give away or they will fail. They will go through a lot of malfunctions. So we have to have another machine which can support. We cannot rely completely on one single machine. Now, So we have already dealt with the word feathered friend. You know that that is a bird, right? Feathered friends means those are birds. Now let us come to the story. This story was written by Arthur Clarke. It is a science fiction short story, right? And now in the picture you can see a small canary. What do you mean by a canary? It's a small yellow colored bird, ultimately having no weight at all. It's like so lightweight, not much weight, right? This bird is not having much weight at all. It's a light weighted bird. And our character, Sven Olsen, had carried this bird to the spacecraft without the knowledge of anyone. So the narrator is telling that he does not know any rule or regulation which is forbidding somebody from carrying a canary to the space station. And he is also telling that even if it does, he was quite sure that Olsen will not mind or will not follow the rule, and he will definitely carry canary along with him. Why? Because he wanted to experiment whether these birds can survive in the space, in that zero gravitational pull. How do they behave? He wanted to experiment on that. Actually, even before human beings explored the space stations, they started with animals. First, they had sent a monkey, and later Russia had sent a dog named Laika in the rocket to see whether animals can cooperate with the space atmosphere or the lightweightedness or the floating, and then the human beings started exploring. So as an experiment they have started with animals. So here Sven Olsen wanted to check whether how these small birds are going to cooperate in the space. And narrator did not know the presence of canary until one day he was working in his cubby. That means a small cabin where he used to sit, and he used to call that cabin as his workspace or office. And he heard the sound of this small canary, and at first he misunderstood that that is the whistle of radio transmitter. But it was not the case. He found out that that is a small canary which Sven had brought to the space station. And why did he carry that particular bird, like a small weighted bird, as his pet to the space station? There are so many advantages, because in the first place, the food requirements are very tiny. Absolutely very, very little food. That is what this cannery demands, and practically weighing nothing. And animals and birds were always part of experiments. Even before the experiment or tested on human beings, animals and birds were part of the experiment. So he wanted to experiment whether light-weighted birds can survive in the zero gravity atmosphere. Then there comes a problem. So we know that whenever we set a story, we will have a setting, the plot, the problem, then the rising action, the falling action, then the climax. So these are the components of a story. So here there comes a problem. One day morning when Sven got up, he was having headache, and he was not feeling very active. He felt very sluggish on that particular day. And he was wondering why he was having that kind of a sluggish feeling. And he was very slow in doing all the morning chores. Then finally, his teammates or crew did not find Sven on the breakfast table. So he was looking for the canary, whose name was Claribel. He was looking for Claribel everywhere, and he found that Claribel was in a stunned state, or he was almost fainted state. Then there was the doctor come dietitian who was a part of the team, whose name was Jock Duncan. He thought that he found that the heartbeat of the bird is missing. So then they were very prompt in acting. They had the oxygen mask, and they have given the small pet the oxygen. but it revived and immediately passed out. So the small bird could not survive and it had died. Then they were analyzing the problem. Why this happened all of a sudden? The small canary, which was unable to get the fresh oxygen, fresh air, and it had died. Then the narrator noticed the Claribel had passed out because of lack of pure air. The air had been frozen and there was a machine which was supposed to alarm the crew members of the bad air prevailing in the cabin, but it failed. The machine failed and Claribel had given a signal to the crew members by acting. So it was responding to the bad air and it responded, but poor thing had died, but it could save the lives of the other crew members. So here we are learning that a costly machine, probably $500,000 alarm, had failed, whereas a simple bird, we cannot say that simple life. Every life matters. So a simple bird, which is of absolutely no cost, had saved the lives of these crew members, which $500,000 machine could not do. So costly machines fail, whereas small bird with no extra expense proved to save lives. Now, these are the questions we have to analyze. Probably you would have heard that these canaries, the small birds which we are talking about, used to be taken to the mines. Okay, when they go dig and go in the mines, they used to carry this to detect the presence of carbon monoxide. The canaries were used in mines in the 1800s to detect gases, right? Now electronic sensors are used. We are no more using all these small birds because their lives also matter, right? Now there is an idiom which is like a canary in the coal mine. What do you mean by that? It's like a person who is an early detector of problems. Yeah, so we can use that as he is the canary in the coal mine. So that means that uh, he is an early detector of problems. Now this story may be about a weak being very strong and the least expensive being the most valuable, right? Because Claribel absolutely values nothing and they have not invested much in Claribel, yet Claribel could save the lives of all the crew members. Now there comes a few probing questions. Have you heard a few animals, were used to be very useful for people in different fields? For example, monster lizard, mice, rabbits, monkeys. The mice, rabbits, and monkeys are even now used for testing or experimenting whenever in pharmaceutical or clinical researches. They are widely used. So there is a controversial issue. Is it right for these animals to put to test? Is it correct? Is there no value for their lives? So we have to discuss in detail. Monster lizard, you know that they are having the hands with kind of suction cups. So they can easily cling on to the walls and everything. So Chhatrapati Shivaji used to use this monster lizard whenever he used to attack, high fortress and everything. He used to throw this monster lizard and he used to climb using a rope. So they used to use these animals widely for different purposes. Some are good and some are not so great. Whenever these animals are put to use or test or part of experiments in laboratories, ultimately, if the medicine is not working or the body is not reciprocating, they will die, right? So they are also sacrificing their lives for the greater invention for the mankind. So there is an article which you all have to write about this particular topic and we shall discuss that later. Thank you.